Hello and thank you for clicking on this video. In this video I'm going to look at the possibility of Sunderland changing their badge permanently based on some quotes published by Sunderland Echo from David Bruce. Now before I really get into this, let's just get one thing straight off the bat. No matter what the club do, they can't please everybody. Back in the 70s when the ship badge was introduced, some people weren't happy about it. Back in 1997 when the current badge was introduced, people weren't happy about it. And whatever they do next, whether they bring an old one back or bring a brand new one in, there will be people that will be upset. So, what did David Bruce say? Well, he told the Echo the badge is definitely on the radar in the next few years. Anything we do will be in a great deal of dialogue with the fans. I think we have 3 badges that really reflect the football club. Does one badge reflect it in its entirety? I don't think any badge for any club completely encompasses the business or property, but we have 3 badges that really speak to the football club in very different ways and still create great memories for fans. We are very blessed in this regard. We can look at the 1973 scripture, the ship badge, which clearly speaks really deeply to the heritage of being on the water and building ships and all the good stuff that went with that. And then there's the new identity, which is connected to the era of the Stadium of Light and all the work that Bob Murray did, and it really connects to the younger fan base. It's all they've known. So there he references the 3 badges which are going to be making a comeback on all of our kits next season. We already knew that. We have of course had more badges than just those 3. We've had ones before that. You know, we had the badge that we wore in the 1937 FA Cup final. But the 3 that he references here are the 3 best known. But it's the next bit that's the most interesting thing here. He says, we have 3 great badges and identities that mean different things to different people. What that means going forward, is there a new identity we might look at? We'll have that dialogue and look at that because maybe there's something out there that better reflects where the club is or could be. Now he there is alluding to something brand new, something we've never had before. And this is interesting because, well, what do the club do? Now there's no getting away from the fact that modern football badges, it's becoming very common for clubs to introduce round badges, all very similar to Manchester City's. And they're generally all the same format. You have the round border, which is in the colour of the name of the club and football club maybe at the bottom. You might have the date the club was founded on either side, and then in the middle you have some symbol representing the club. Brentford have a B, for example. Now, I think they all look pretty nice, but they are kind of generic, aren't they? Now, if Sunderland went down this route, they could have a red circle, Sunderland Association Football Club, 1879. In the middle, they could have the Penshaw Monument, they could have a ship, they could have a black cat. But do they want to look the same as everybody else? Another option is maybe just the black cat, a bit like Spurs' badge, and a bit like the Safc SA, the Club Supporters Association's badge. Just a cat maybe with its paw on a football, or just a little ribbon with SAFC at the bottom. That might look smart. Although I made this little Photoshop, I'm not very good at Photoshop, I tried this out, and I don't think it looks that good. I'm sure someone professional would be able to make it look better, but it just kind of looks a bit dull to me. It doesn't really look Sunderland-y, which is weird considering it's a black cat. The other thing is maybe a redesign of an old one, a more modern version of the ship badge, looking newer, without going back. Or maybe we go Juventus and just have an S or something. At this point, who knows? It's really hard to call. If they're going to do surveys and have dialogue with fans, they should at least get some feeling of the zeitgeist amongst the fans. So we shall see. It'll be interesting. It'll be a few years yet, and I hope the current badge gets to 30 years at least. Interesting. What do you think?